For hundreds of years, Florida has been man's greatest resource. This is a story about one of Florida's greatest resources, one of its own, West Skiles.
We're really constantly recycling water. People don't understand that, but that's what we're doing.
Born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida, Wes has spent his entire life diving the springs of North Florida. Even the local restaurants, like the Great Outdoors, know Wes and proudly display his photography. As founder of Karst Productions and co-founder of Karst Environmental Services, both in High Springs, Wes dedicated his life to the preservation of Florida's natural resources. Ginny Springs was always home to Wes. Explorer, aquanaut, conservationist, and filmmaker, Wes has spent a lifetime discovering new ways to preserve Florida's waterways and bringing his camera along to show the world what he's seen.
This is the only way to go, Captain Bob, the flying boats.
The biggest concern for Wes Skiles, the environmentalist, was water's secret journey underground, where it can travel for hundreds of years before revealing itself on the surface again.
In actuality, this is the beginning of a long journey for the water as it enters the aquifer.
Wes was a very dedicated person when it came to cave diving, and more so than just cave diving, it was about conservation and preservation of the water around here.
The goal just simply has to be to lessen the impact we're having as humans on these environments, and we can do that. We really can. Okay, incoming.
Wes has brought together a unique team of scientists and explorers to work with him.
Incredible.
I've known Wes Skiles for almost 30 years. We met underwater, believe it or not.
Definitely getting bigger, Tom.
Yeah, we've hit pay dirt here.
Oh my gosh. Will you look at this?
There goes the floor of the cave.
Woohoo!
Wes is the kind of person whose prime goal is to capture the most amazing world that people have never seen before and then bring it back to share with those that can't get there.
From exploring and mapping inside of the Floridan aquifer, to being the first man to land on B-15, the largest iceberg to break off of Antarctica in man's history, Wes has led numerous expeditions in the pursuit of knowledge to benefit man. Georgia Shemitz worked closely with Wes for over 15 years.
Ice Island was probably one of Wes's greatest adventures. There was a lot of physical and emotional and mental challenges because that's probably the toughest place he ever went. And they sailed from New Zealand down to Antarctica. Huge waves, and they could just get thrown on their bunks and tossed around. And they went there to look at the largest iceberg, B-15. It was an iceberg the size of Connecticut that had broken away from the shelf there. And Wes wanted to film under and or in the world's largest iceberg.
We're physically going inside the iceberg.
So he and the helicopter pilot took the helicopter to Ice Island and he filmed that. And I'll tell you what, that took some nerve.
At an incredible time, we're at B-15, South 7238, West 17744. First human beings ever to be here.
Very exciting, very thrilling to watch. So if you haven't seen Ice Island, you should watch it.
Sadly, Wes passed away doing what he loved to do.
He will be remembered as the guy that tried to make everybody aware of how precious and delicate the ecosystem and the spring water is up here.
Wes is going to be remembered as a pioneer in the world of cave diving, but more than that, he's going to be remembered as a champion of the Florida aquifer and our wonderful springs.
I think Wes is going to be remembered as one of the greatest spring stewards that we've ever had, the greatest champion of these springs and the Floridan aquifer. And I believe that as people remember him and continue work in his name, it's going to be for the betterment and protection of our water resources in Florida.
The Florida Department of Environmental Protection's Florida State Parks hosted a special naming event at Peacock Springs State Park in Live Oak to honor the late world-class explorer, diver, cinematographer, and photographer. The park will now be known as West Skiles Peacock Springs State Park.